see some familiar faces and I see some new faces. As you may or may not know, yes, I'm Kim Serafini, the founder, creator, and CEO of Positive Prime. Every single week we come together. This is an opportunity for you to get to know a little more about Positive Prime, ask your questions, have them answered, get some guidance. A lot of people say, hey, you know what, I've got this big goal and I've got to run really fast and I've got to sell a lot. What sessions should I watch? I'm here to answer those questions. But do you know what else? I can see we have a beautiful friend here with us. Lisa Barnett, come on out and say hello.
Hello, hi. my poor little old puppy. She gets so whiny at this time of day. I'm like, oh.
Oh, do you know what? I love that. I must admit, I'm so happy for you to be here. Who wants to know who Lisa Barnett is? Well, she's a soul sister, an angel for me. We're both seraphims, which is pretty amazing. I know my surname's Serafini. Lisa can tell you a little bit more about that. Lisa is an incredibly successful woman, a thought leader in her own right, an influencer in her own community. And she has actually created a session that I've been watching a lot of, right? And so I'm going to actually get Lisa to come on out and explain a little bit about who she is and what she does and so forth. And then, do you know what? I'm going to actually screen share and show. You weren't ready for this, were you, Lisa? You're like, no, don't record this. I'm in the spotlight now.
I'm going to put lipstick on or earrings or something.
But do you know what? You're beautiful.
Oh,
isn't she? Everybody, isn't she just beautiful the way she is? Aww. You can see that you've got that glow. It comes from within, and also because you're truly connected to divine, source energy and some pretty special beings. So without further ado, Lisa, tell everybody who you are, and then let's talk about why everyone should watch your session.
Yes. Oh, of course. So, Lisa Barnett, and I am the founder of Akashic Knowing School of Wisdom, and I'm the best-selling author of 2 books with the 3rd one on the way. And I help people connect to their soul so that they can be divinely guided by their own personal soul wisdom and guidance. And I do that by teaching people how to access their own Akashic records, which is the recording of your soul's journey through all time, space continuum. So kind of a big concept, especially if you weren't, like thinking about having this conversation. But it is very important for so many of us to align to who we truly are as these wise, infinite souls, so that we can create the life that our heart and our soul desires. And we do that through accessing the Akashic records, which is how I ended up here with dear sweet Kim Serafini.
Lisa, I would love for you to just quickly explain to everybody a little bit about the Akashic records beyond or the answer to, is that something scary? Is that just a little bit too woo-woo? Is it for the skeptics and the cynics? And do you know, I was actually talking to a beautiful friend the other day and I said, I am this crazy mix of super science and super spirit, of super esoteric and super practical down to earth. And I think that we can be all and everything. There's no either or anymore on this planet going forward, not for us as beings. There is science and spirit. There is esoteric and reality. I can be both a skeptic and a cynic, and I can be actually completely wide open mentally and emotionally. I can access it all. I can be it all. I can have it all. And so I may have been the kind of person 30 years ago when I was out of business school and in the corporate world and a change management consultant feeling all fabulous, like I was very serious and sophisticated. And I might have gone Akashic Records and rolled my eyes. So, Lisa, I would love for us to actually just talk about that, because I think that it does scare some people. And then for those of you who are in the audience, we're in a very small, intimate, private group of people. So do be asking Lisa some questions if you've got some, even if you're just curious. And if there is trepidation, let's just help you breathe in and hear what it is that you want to hear, see what it is that you want to see, know what it is that you want to know, and just feel very comfortable and at peace, and like this is the right place for you right now, and you were meant to be here in this moment. I didn't know Lisa was showing up to today, because we always invite our positive prime professional leaders into the group. So I'm so happy that she did. I just truly love her. And I can tell you that some of the Akashic Records reading that Lisa has done with me and for me, ostensibly through me and her energy, it has given me a sense of serenity and excitement. And I want everybody to experience that. And I wouldn't have had it otherwise, right?
Absolutely. So, boy, there's always so much to say about the Akashic Records. And so probably the easiest place to start is that I believe, in what I have learned through my 60 years of really starting to accessing divine wisdom and guidance, is that we really truly are infinite souls in this moment having this human experience, and that we have been so many things, lived so many lives of all kinds of human lives and other sorts of lives. Kim and I have both been seraphim angels in other realms. And so we're very infinite. And as we can just bring that energy back into our bodies, our minds, and follow that wisdom, it helps us to align to the expanse of who we are and the gifts that we have come to share with humanity. And so the Akashic Record is the recording of your soul's journey through time immemorial. Every life you've lived, every gift you've shared is recorded in your own personal library, and you have your own personal librarians that are etheric guides only for you. And so they have never been anything else. They are here in support of your human life, helping you to understand why you came, what you came to do, what you came to share, the soul contracts you've written with other people to be their support team, to sometimes be their challenge so that you can help trigger them to awakening in different ways. And as we start to really, the energy of the planet is truly raising. And as we move into this beautiful positive energy, of course, with positive prime, shifting our old stories, waking up in so many different ways, I know that all of humanity is doing this with us. And so it helps us to realize that we're not just a little human having this experience, but we have come to be the light for so many other people moving forward. We have come to be the guidance, as Kim has with Positive Prime, to help and wake up so many other humans and bring them with us, awakening and really sharing the beautiful information and energy and wisdom that we really are.
Oh, I love that. Who has fallen in love? Look, oh, there's Mahara's puppy dog come to visit us again. Lisa, you know this, there are certain human designs that actually dogs are attracted to, and certain light beings that dogs are just naturally attracted to. So one of the things we know about Mahara is that your beautiful dog is actually resonating with your energy, being here right now. You connecting with us in particular. It's phenomenal, right? Lisa, you also love the neuroscience of Positive Prime, and you've created your own session. So what I would love is for everybody to feel from you, as well as hear and see. I'm going to share your session. I I would love for you to explain what it is that they're experiencing. So we've logged into mine, and this is your session, aligned to your soul's plan. So I'm going to actually share with you a little bit more. I've personalized this, so I've uploaded lots of recent photographs. And it's been a process, but because I've got 9,000 personal photographs, it takes a little bit of time. So these are some really recent photographs of my pussycat and my husband, and some flowers that were given to me, and a beautiful little vacation that we went on, and so forth, and some gifts. So anyway, if I select all of these now, and you can actually go and see here, see how the second page is already ticked, because I had already actually selected all of those into your session. So all I do now is press play session, and all of my personal images that I'm uploading are now going into your session. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Lisa, while you explain to everybody, what are they seeing and why from your perspective?
Well, and one of the really fun things for me to also share is that I have spent a lot of my life on sacred journeys, on travel to sacred sites. And I also have a degree in commercial photography. And so I uploaded hundreds of my photos. I gave them to the team. And so there's quite a few of my personal travel photos in this whole session, just making it even more mine in a sense. But as I was looking at doing this, one of the really most important concepts to me is that we are infinite souls. We are one. We are here to be the light and to be the love, to share our heart, our soul, our wisdom with humanity. And so that is a lot of the energy, right? You are a divine soul. Always remembering that we are part of divinity, that we are here to be the way showers, that we are unique beings in love, of love, awakening, stepping more fully into the true expanse of us. One of the experiences I have when I access the Akashic records is of that infinite expanse, truly remembering and knowing in my body and really into the ethers that we are infinite souls having this phenomenal human experience. Right? There's me teaching one of my workshops and so the Akashic record keepers, our beautiful librarians, are here in pure support to us. And I believe that we are here in support to humanity, of course, to our families, to our fur babies, to our friends, and to our communities. And the blessing to me to be part of this community with Kim, to be part of Positive Prime. I feel so blessed to be able to have created this video to share the energy of the Akashic field, right? The Akashic records assist you in understanding our personal relationships, understanding the greater truth of who we truly are.
I love it, 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 I love it. And do you know, we don't often say this, but the Positive Prime platform is almost the conduit, sharing Lisa's energy, yes, her infinite wisdom and her divine intelligence to each and every single one of you as you view her session. They're her words. And so when I view this particular session, I feel Lisa, and I feel what she's advising me to think and feel, what she's suggesting and recommending that I think and feel, because she truly believes it's in my very best interest. But it's not in my selfish best interests. It's in my best interests as I contribute to humanity, as I grow, as I do what I came here to do as a soul. And some of us get so caught up in the minutiae and the busyness and the franticness of life. There's our dear friend Jack, Lisa.
I know.
I just saw that. So
he wrote the foreword to my, here, wait, one of my, let me just fill this out. One of my books, he wrote the foreword to for me. Do you know that?
I love it. It's a great book too. You know, knowing what your purpose is, knowing what your values are, knowing what it is that you truly desire, what it is that you want, knowing and understanding your goals, knowing why you want to accomplish what you set out to do, knowing is so important. I went through years of questioning. What am I really here for? Will I ever find contentment? Am I on track? I think all of that disrupts our vibration and our frequency. The work in really coming to know is valuable work to do on ourselves, and it sets us free. It's part of what really truly sets us free, isn't it? Lisa, when I watch your session, it gets me to just drop down into this moment and remind myself that I don't need so much pushing or efforting in achieving the goal. Rather, I can do a lot of being and reminding myself that I am guided and that I can connect and really feel this source energy that is this life force within me. And so long as I'm in that peaceful place, every action that I take is worth 1,000 in reaction. Can you share with everybody what you know to be true about intentional loving actions bringing about an exponential result?
Absolutely. So to me, the easiest way to think about it is that, you know, we're magnets, we're jumbo magnets, honestly. And so everything I am, all of the love that I can exude into the world is coming back, right? 1,000,000-fold as it expands out into the universe. And so to me, by being in the highest vibrational state, energy, like watching these beautiful positive prime videos, by holding love in our heart, kind of getting out of our head and the mental stories, worries, stresses, by creating these beautiful sacred hearts that are magnetic, expressing that into the world, life just moves with grace and ease, and love shows up, and all the abundance of the universe shows up with ease because we are being that light, that love, that grace, that ease. And we are phenomenal beings, really, when we can just let ourselves be, right?
Absolutely. Lisa, would you comment whilst we have you in the spotlight? What speed do you normally watch Positive Prime sessions on? And is there any advice you would give to your community members, those that you care about, those that you serve, about the speed?
You know, I usually watch on 3 because it gives me enough, it's enough to be able to read. And I like to read the words, or at least soak them in. And it makes it possible for me to actually sit down and watch a whole Positive Prime because it's fast enough. So I'm a bit of a hyper person. So that's just the number that I love, is just the 3. Enough to read, but fast enough. So, and energetically, I just, I just am a bit of a hyper kind of energetic person. And to me, that just feels like it's beautiful. So
it's interesting actually, because it was speed 4 that we did our scientific research with. And so we knew that within 3 minutes, the brain is actually positively primed and the effects last 6 to 8 hours if you watch a session on speed 4. And if you want to make sure that you can have that resistance, the rejecting, you know, there's a beautiful saying, whatever you resist persists. So that if there's this part of you that you would just like to just gently push aside so that you can allow new and fresh in, so that you can give yourself space to absorb something that will take you to a higher level, you kind of want it to go faster. And one of the reasons why is because it bypasses the conscious critical judgment factors of your prefrontal cortex, and it actually goes into your superconsciousness. And so a lot of the natural, organic, emerging changes within you, or the transformation that you want to have occurring, will happen where you're not even really aware that you have dramatically and permanently transformed, but you will have done so because all of these messages are going into your superconsciousness. It's like they've planted seeds, it's percolating, they're being nurtured, and actually, voila, you start to blossom and you burst forth a new you. And you really truly are a new you. So if you really want dramatic changes to every single area of your entire life, then I would suggest that you really want to watch quite a lot of sessions on a faster speed. But to Lisa's point, I just had a couple of days where I was super stressed and super tired, and I literally couldn't watch on a fast speed. It was like I actually had this awareness that the slower I was watching the sessions, the more healing it was. It was actually almost smoothing out the edges of me because I was a bit too frazzled. And so Positive Prime serves you in that respect. Watch it at a speed that literally feels like it's harmonious to you, like you're actually in this incredible ritual of self-care. Okay. Alrighty. So
I love that.
I actually should probably address here, we're on Zoom, so it's actually choking. So whenever you see this particular infinity symbol come up, what you can know is that the server is trying to grab the images, and the connection is probably more about my connection, the amount of data that's going via the Wi-Fi to my actual service provider, and then beyond my service provider for my own internet in my office to actually Amazon Web Services, AWS, which is the server that we use for the entire world for, you know, thousands and thousands of people to be watching Positive Prime sessions all at once. And so sometimes when the system is just overloaded at my end, I will actually see that infinity symbol coming up. And of course, I can usually attenuate the choking, which is what it's called technically, if I just go back down one speed. So I'm not at max now, I'm down at 9. Yes, it's still fast. And you can see I've got a minute to go. Now, let's just say I love Lisa's session, or I've watched Lisa's session a couple of times and I do love it. I haven't yet hearted it, like put a little heart here, because it's still featured on our front dashboard. But the reality is that every single week we actually change what's on the front dashboard. This is a book that I wrote about being grateful. If you really want more abundance to come into your life, you probably want to drop into the gratitude energy. Wouldn't you say, Lisa?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Lisa, is there anything else that you would really like to say to everybody who's listening before I dive into answering some quick questions?
You know, I just really I'm grateful. It was kind of one of those funny things. I'm usually so busy, you know, working, and I was like, I haven't been to the Q&A. I'm feeling called to come. And so I am grateful to just have been able to show up and get to meet some of the lovely members. And of course, thank you, Kim, for highlighting my video, and just grateful to have that out there. So thank you. Thank you all.
Oh, thank you, Lisa. Lisa, just tell us, how do we actually find you if we're really curious?
Oh, absolutely. Here, try type it in the chat because it's a spelling issue for many. Right.
Okay, let's do that.
Right, because it is Akashic Knowing is my website, and because so many people don't know how to spell Akashic, so there it is, Akashic Knowing. You can learn so much more about the Akashic field, and the classes I teach, the readings I do, the books I have, all there at Akashic Knowing. So thank you.
Just a quick question before you go, for anybody who's curious about an Akashic reading. Is it the same thing as a psychic reading? Is it the same thing as a tarot card reading?
No, not at all, actually. And I know this really, I say firsthand, because I started as a psychic intuitive energy healer. And I did that for probably about 8 years. And then I would, every once in a while, when I was doing a reading, I would get this huge download of information. It was so expansive for my client. I would always think, wow, that is amazing, because it was really more about the whole soul plan, your past lives and what you've done before, your gifts and talents, how they relate to this life, what you came to do, who you came to connect with. And I think, wow, really often psychic readings are much more about the energy you hold in your field for this life. Not that you can't get past life information from psychic readings, but it's a little bit more present life. Akashic records are all about who you are as a soul through all time immemorial. So can be very different. And I love to really help people to release old energies. Sometimes it's emotional pain or trauma that is holding them back from stepping more fully into creating the life they really desire, their heart and soul desires. And often it's connected in this throughout time, past lives, even sometimes into the future. So very expansive and helpful to align to who we are and why we're here. And so that's what I do a bit with my Akashic readings, and they're also healing sessions.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa.
You.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the chat, just let us know if you've appreciated hearing from Lisa, and if it was, and look, Mahara says love, love, love. Thank you. Thank you.
Very sweet.
Okay, well, you can sense, I would highly recommend, if you wanted to give yourself a real treat, that you connect with Lisa personally. And if it feels like the right thing for you to do, you can gift yourself an Akashic record reading. I'm going to spell that for people who are listening to this. It's A-K, Ash, A-S-H-I-C. A-K, Ash, A-S-H-I-C, knowing.com. And Lisa is Lisa Barnett, B-A-R-N-E-T-T. Lisa Barnett. Okay, perfect. Woo! Absolutely gorgeous. All right, so for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to quickly whiz through an overview of the Positive Prime platform. After you viewed a session, you can actually tell us whether you're feeling better, the same, or not better. We use this particular data, it's de-identified, to actually help us improve what it is that we're doing and guide us to the types of content that we actually are producing and who we connect with in terms of, you know, amazing thought leaders like Lisa Barnett, people who are real experts in their area. And it essentially informs the way that we're moving, which sessions are being watched the most, how people really feeling after them, who we should then invite and share. But for those of you who don't know, on the left-hand side, you actually have a menu, a dashboard, right? Now, this is really our main page. And as you can see, didn't I say super stressed, super busy, didn't even watch a positive prime session? Well, actually, I did watch a positive prime session, but it didn't register. And the reason why is because in a different tab in my computer, I actually had my big, giant super mix playing, and I watched a couple of minutes, not the whole thing. So I didn't actually watch 3 minutes at a time. And the system knows if you've watched 3 minutes of time and if you've watched a complete session, and then of course you actually get how many days in a row, and you get all the figures. And for some people, they love monitoring their streak. As you can see, my longest streak was 42 days. All right, so let me just quickly go down here. If you have never actually had a look at the getting started area, maybe you want to do this. There is a free PDF guide that helps you to make the most out of positive prime. We actually also created a positive prime session, which a training program that really talks about what's amazing about positive prime. So it's almost like a session that teaches you about positive prime, and it's on this particular page. And I'll give you an example. We'll go really fast and then I'll slow it down and you'll see. So this particular session actually has statements in it. And let me just mute the music. And the statements are teaching you that there is a session called Excellent Decisions by Robert McPhee, and so on and so on. I would recommend that you watch this particular session a couple of times just so that you get a feel for the power and the potential of positive prime. There is an art and science to positive prime, and most of what you want to learn about positive prime is actually in this particular session. So instead of looking at a boring PowerPoint presentation, or instead of reading a boring document, this actually teaches you. And interestingly enough, because the formula is the positive prime formula, here are some of the things that we know. We know that you're going to comprehend more of it, you're going to be able to recall more of it, you're going to be able to remember more of it, and you're going to be able to apply more of it. And that is scientific fact about positive priming. So that's in the getting started area. I just want to show you, if you click on free resources, this particular page is actually going to open in a different tab. And because we're on Zoom and we're doing video sharing, it's taking a long time to load. That's okay, it'll be faster on your own computer. So here in the free resources area, there are lots of little short videos, tiny, couple of minutes. And if you want a lot more information about how my positive prime works, you'll actually see them in these very short little videos. If you want to actually hear some amazing, super quick little success stories, there are a few there to watch. And then if you want to actually see me present an entire workshop for various audiences, there's actually 2 full recordings there for you to see. So let's just go back over here. What you'll also find is there is an area called Coaching Pearls. 3 minutes of brilliance, absolutely gorgeous, divine pearls of wisdom shared with you every single day. If you haven't yet started the Coaching Pearls, you'll need to activate it to start it. And then you actually get to watch a particular coaching pearl every single day. So this is an enormous added bonus to your subscription in Positive Prime. We also have another area here, which is about stories. Some of these are very inspiring, moving, and kind of really will shake you to your core. They're profound lessons shared through people's stories. And these people are a collection of our Positive Prime professionals, and we're constantly adding to these stories. So if I was you, I'd come and have a listen to some of these podcasts and have a look at some other people's Positive Prime sessions. Now, the next thing that you might want to do, if you haven't already, is take advantage of the bonuses that you've been given. So do you know, I actually did a program a little while ago that brought to life Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, right? So if you're actually in business or you want a real breakthrough in this particular area, I think that the lessons, the 7 days of classes, would be really beneficial to you. And so you can have a little look down here. Most of you will have heard of Think and Grow Rich. Greats like Bob Proctor. It was almost his Bible. It definitely guided his whole life. So you can go and watch day 1 through day 7. And I think it's a really special extra bonus. The other thing that you will want to do is actually create your own gallery. There's lots of reasons why you want your own individual personalization for your positive prime experience. Do you know that if you fundamentally want to change and you've committed to do so, you've made the decision that you'd like an area of your life to actually improve, you actually need your identity integrated into the new you. So that could be the new you that's much better at relationships, at romance and intimacy, at health and well-being, like exercising, or, you know, better nutritional habits. You must upload photographs of yourself, and photographs that are meaningful and significant to you, and integrate them into the particular sessions. And so you can see here, I've got 9,355 of my own personal images. What kinds of images? People ask, hey, what kinds of images should I upload? Well, ready? You might want to write some of these things down. Get yourself a folder on your computer and have within it photographs of yourself. Lots of photographs of yourself where you can actually see the you that is infinite and divine, the you that has gifts and talents and skills, the you that is special and kind and compassionate. Lots of photographs of yourself. You can see this is actually my signature. Yes, I photographed my signature and I uploaded it. This is me graduating from business school. This is me as a young woman in London. I looked up into the sky and I saw these beautiful clouds, and it reminded me that I have angels around me. It looked exactly like angels' wings to me. I went out into my garden and I took photographs of my favorite flowers or my favorite plants. I took photographs of my home. I took photographs of some of the most beautiful gifts I've ever been given, right? Well, interestingly enough, when my other than consciousness, when it sees these gifts that I've been given, the vibration is of pure appreciation for gifts that I'm given. And so the universe actually then starts to organize the people, the circumstances, and the situations that brings about more gifts. And I receive more gifts. I'll tell you, it happens every single time I upload photographs of gifts I've been given. I somehow seem to get more gifts. Not somehow. That's just universal divine law. That which we're truly grateful for, that which we're appreciating, that which we're recognizing in our life, we get more of. I have photographs of my family and my friends, but do you know I spent a long time, like this is me with Marcy Shimoff. This is me with Deborah Poneman. Can you actually see this? Do you know why I'm mentioning that? Lisa Barnett is also good friends with Marcy Shimoff. Can you see that there? That's a photo of me and Marcy at her house at lunch. And there's also a photo of me and Deborah there, right? And so this is a beautiful friend of mine. This is me. Now, I'll tell you a fascinating story. This is Oprah and this is Ariana Huffington. And many years ago, I happened to be invited into a meeting via Skype with Sean Acor. He coincidentally was at Ariana Huffington's penthouse home in Manhattan, filming something for the Thrive project with Ariana Huffington was doing with Oprah Winfrey. And Sean was one of the invited guest speakers, as was Kobe Bryant. Now, I actually find it rather astonishing that I had uploaded a photograph. Hang on, let's go down here. Or an image that I'd found on social media. And it has Audrey Hepburn, it has Princess Diana, it has Amelia Earhart. But look who's in color, Ariana and Oprah. Well, what is really super fascinating is that both of these people were in the room when I spoke to Sean Acor, and I could not have been smart enough nor strategic enough to actually have had that miracle happen inside my life, right? So if you get only one thing from being here today, it's that the images that you upload that are your personal images of the people that you want to work with, the people that you want to meet, the people you want to party with, right? And if you actually literally just launch those desires out into the universe and you are in alignment and you're a good, decent person and you're taking action, the universe will align the circumstances, the situation, and the people to bring it about. It might not be immediately. It will be a surprise and delight. You've got to look for the signs. They show up. This sounds really rather ridiculous, doesn't it? But no. So what else did I do? I actually thought about the places that I wanted to go to, and I went to their websites. I'll give you an example. I might want to go to Versailles. And so I went to a website and I looked at the most beautiful hotels in the vicinity or the region of Versailles in France. And so I right-clicked and saved some photographs, some images from those spectacular hotels. I can't wait to go there. Now, I could either stay there or I could go for high tea or morning tea, right? Or I could go for a cocktail, or I could go for a brunch. I could go for a walk in their gardens. And so I started to upload photographs of all the places that I wanted to go to. That's why there's 9,000 photos in here, right? There's 9,000 photos because there are a lot of places I really, really, really want to go to, right? So does this give you an idea of the types of photos? Now, I'll tell you a little secret. It's not really about the photos. It's about the process that you go through in order to decide what's important to you and what it is that you want. And then interestingly enough, these are actual statements. These are things that I would have to have as personal goals. And I turn them into, excuse me, JPEGs. There are so many personal photographs here, and that's because my life is precious and important enough for me to go through the process of finding the images that represent and illustrate my goals, my dreams, my wishes, and my desires. And I would beg of you to give yourself one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, which is the time to really sit down and find the photographs of the places that you want to go and be, the things that you want to do, and upload them into your gallery and then include them into Positive Prime sessions. So what do I mean by including them into Positive Prime sessions? Well, I'm going to give you an example. Let's just say we go to spirituality. And I'm sure, Lisa, you also know Rika Zimmerman. And Rika Zimmerman is a woman who does workshops. She's a bit like Lisa. Tens of thousands of people follow her. So let's just say I want to personalize one of these sessions. I'll tell you, one of my favorite people is Troy Haynes. He really walks his talk. He's an extraordinary man. And this session, Awakening, is fantastic. So if I want to personalize this session, I click on personalize. And you personalize every single individual session with a few photographs or a lot of photographs. And so you can either start at the beginning or start at the end. People ask, why do you need to do this? Well, interestingly enough, right? So I'm going to select all here, and then I'm going to go down to page 10, and I'm just going to randomly select some. This is my beautiful niece, Lucy. This is my mum and dad. These are some flowers that Cameron gave me. Oh, this is Professor Andrew White. Do you know, he was one of my greatest mentors. He's recently passed. I cried and cried and cried when I found out. He's actually the man who helped me to create lithos therapy. Most people find it really strange when I say I am the woman that did invent hot stone massage for the spa industry. I absolutely did do that over 20 years ago. I had a download of using handcrafted marble sculptures, black and white marble, heated and chilled marble sculptures. And I work with Professor Andrew White. He's a geophysicist, was a geophysicist. And he understood the thermal conductivity of various minerals. And he helped me to create what is now commonly known as hot stone massage. When I launched it under the brand Lithos Therapy. And lithos is the Greek word, or the ancient Greek word for rock. Anyway, so I have uploaded a photograph of him because he's important to me. He reminds me that extraordinary human beings have come into my life and will continue to come into my life to gift me their wisdom and to help me and support me and encourage me and to actually walk this path with me. And so I definitely either want to tick that in particular. For those of you who don't know, I actually grew up in Papua New Guinea. This is a photograph of my mum and one of her best friends when they were young women in Papua New Guinea. I was born there and I was raised there. Papua New Guinea is north of Australia. This is actually a photograph of my garden right now in one direction. So that's actually our yard. So you can add any photos that you like that are meaningful and significant to you. And as soon as you press play, what's actually happened is you've saved those photographs into that particular session. And so when you watch the session, what's actually going to happen is that you're going to see your photographs along with the standard content that has been curated to bring about the message. So in this case, it's Troy Haynes's message about awakening. So what happens inside your brain from a brain science point of view is a couple of different things. One of them is emotional contagion. So wherever there's a photograph of you, you actually mix and merge the energy of you with that which you're seeing, which helps you to manifest that which is you're seeing. Because if you can be in this state where you're recognizing you're integrating your identity, what'll happen is the you that is you, that's my mom. So I see that, oh, that's me at Tony Robbins doing the, life, walking on the fire, coals exercise. But what'll happen is you see your own photographs and then your brain links you to that message. The new era is flourishing. I am agile. And because photographs that are meaningful and significant to me are integrated into these incredible messages, each image, of course, is worth 1,000 words. The fascinating thing is that I then change at an organic level, organically, naturally. It just literally starts to ooze out of me. So the more sessions that you watch, the more that you personalize your sessions, the more that you will organically change, and very rapidly and in an enduring way. This is a beautiful session. I would highly recommend that you definitely go and watch it. This is me as a young woman living in London. That was actually Regent's Park. So has that been a really good quick overview of Positive Prime? Do you know we've got sessions, over 100 of them, from all sorts of amazing authorities and thought leaders and healers and coaches and therapists. And we actually have an incredible professional program, leaders who want to be practitioners in Positive Prime, who go through and learn about, personal change management philosophies and approaches, and then positive psychology and neuroscience and change management. And we actually mix and merge it all. And we actually have an incredible certification program. And we also have an entire division that creates Positive Prime sessions for coaches and therapists and healers and trainers. And lots of people use Positive Prime sessions to reinforce their programs or their teachings and trainings or their therapies. And they don't actually have their session on our entire platform. So we make a lot of sessions professionally, we produce them, and then we provide them to people and they have them on their website. So they don't even have them on our website. In order for you to have a Positive Prime session as a professional on our platform available for the world to view and all of our subscribers to actually enjoy, you really have to be an extraordinary human being who walks their talk, who has accomplished a lot and is actually a very powerful healer in and of themselves. So I look at this and I go, wow, I'm so grateful for Lisa and others and Troy and others. But I also know that all of our subscribers should feel very grateful that they actually get to, it's almost like have this intense coaching session by Lisa or Troy. You can have as many of these as you like per day for as many days of a week or a month or a year as you like. I think it's extraordinary, exceptional value. Do you agree? Yeah, you agree. Okay. So is there anything else that you want to know? Just before we go, maybe most of you, I do feel a bit better. Maybe most of you don't know that if you go down to the earn area, you actually can get your affiliate link and you can go and share your affiliate link with others. And when they actually sign up, you earn commissions from that. So is there anybody at this stage who has any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Edwina.
Hi, my question was not about the earning part. I know you mentioned, I think last time, something about dementia. So dementia and The
We
other
lost
part of
you
me is
because
with
of the internet.
addiction. Oh no, no.
That's okay. Let me see if I can gather what you were saying. The last time we gathered, I talked about reminiscence therapy, and if you upload photographs of much earlier in your life and you watch them, it's actually very good for neuroplasticity and for situations where there could be cognitive decline. Is that what you're referring to, Edwina?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes.
So there's a whole body of science that's around reminiscence therapy. And of course, there's a lot of work being done scientifically to really understand how there can be true dignity for those people who are deeply forgetful. I also talked about Professor Stephen G. Post. He's arguably the world's most, well, he's certainly my favorite authority on the subject. He's very well respected and admired in this area. So if you'd like to use Positive Prime for those purposes, the more you upload photographs of when you were younger, much younger, and indeed, if you can scan in and create digital versions of photographs of where you lived 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it's very helpful. The other thing is that whilst you're watching these beautiful images of you and of all sorts of other nature images, the interesting thing is that if you also play music, real music just from your own musical device, and you mute the music on the session, there is a lot of evidence that that music will also help to trigger the memories. And so it becomes a comforting process. Have I answered your question?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Was there something else?
The addiction pattern in families, like drug addiction
pattern in families.
Yes. Where would I tell them to start?
Okay, that's very, very, very complex. But let me just very quickly show you where I would start. And we'll see what else we have here. So addictions are generally about either ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, trauma that isn't being released from the body, and or distractions from anxiety. And they're very, 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 very complex issues. I do believe that no matter what, love heals. So there is actually a session. Did I see Shirley here? I think I did earlier. There is a session by Shirley Wembley, an amazing professional, called Love to Be You. I think somebody who's going through some kind of addiction issue probably needs a lot of professional assistance, as well as really falling in love with themselves. A lot of people can't fall in love with themselves until they go through forgiveness. So one of the things that I would suggest that you do is you definitely watch this particular session by Reverend Mr. Young, and it's about forgiveness. And in this particular case, Misty is a friend of mine, and she has a beautiful story, but it's heart-wrenching, and it involves suicide. So some of these issues that are addressed through Positive Prime sessions are not all fluffy. Some of them are very serious. There is another one that I actually did on feeling fulfilled once you forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself and forgiving others and forgiving the situations and letting go of the past is actually a very, very difficult thing to do for some people, but well worth it. And do you know what? Life has a way of continuing and bringing up all sorts of new circumstances and situations that you might find yourself in that you actually need to forgive yourself around. Right? So forgiveness, I think, is one of these weekly jobs, certainly monthly jobs. I don't think it's a once and done. I will tell you, there is actually this session that's about heart consciousness from Nadine. So what we have found is that when people really surrender, actually that's another one, it's extraordinary, surrendering and letting go. I created this session because a lot of people are hanging on to all of the reasons or the excuses as to why they're allowed to stay in the pain to justify their addiction or their anxiety. So it might be like, you're not actually surrendering and letting go of the stress that you're experiencing, which might drive you to drinking too much alcohol. And so that addiction is going to show up in that particular kind of way. But actually, it's simply because you're holding on too tight to something that you are justifying your addiction for. And so I think that a lot of work around surrendering and letting go is incredibly powerful.
Great suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, great. All right. And I'll give you one more before we go. We have super mixes for our subscribers. And one of the super mixes is around emotional healing. And so I would definitely watch emotional healing if I was you as a super mix. And a super mix is usually 5 sessions that are mixed and merged together. They're actually literally combined. And so you see a little bit of one session, a little bit of another session, a little bit of a different session. You actually see lots of different sessions all in one. They're awesome super mixes. And then ultimately, I do know that this particular session by Marissa Peer in particular, if you don't know her, I Am Enough is truly one of those sessions and one of those bodies of work that allows people to have breakthroughs. Marissa and her husband came and stayed here with me and Cameron at our home in Australia. And I really got to know Marissa very, very well compared to lots of these other New York Times bestselling authors that I know, but I don't know very, very well. I definitely know Lisa and Marissa and John very, very well. So this particular session I have some real admiration for. This work is not easy work, helping people to feel like they're enough, but my golly gosh, it is important. It's absolutely critical. All of us, I believe, in this lifetime, all of us are on a journey to feel like we are enough. We're smart enough, we're beautiful enough, we're kind enough, we're great enough, we're talented enough, we're calm enough, we're peaceful enough, we're enough. We absolutely are enough. And so I would probably add a session like this to the repertoire. Let's just say you were to choose a couple of sessions to watch every single day for 30 days and do your own challenge. I would make I Am Enough one of those sessions. I really would. I think that it grounds all of us, and all of us can own more of ourselves, rejoice in being ourselves, in being us, right? Wouldn't it be fantastic if all of us actually genuinely rejoiced? I look in the mirror and I go, golly gosh, I love you, Kim Serafini. You're absolutely amazing. I love who you've become and I love who you're becoming. And I mean it. I was not able to do that 20 years ago. Had I had positive prime, it may have only taken me a year to get to that stage, not 20 years. Right.
You're good at that. You're really good at that, Kim. I appreciate it because I listened to the coaching pearls that you do on the I am, you are, that it just blew me away.
Thank you. Thank you, Edwina.
It's good. Thank you.
I'm so grateful I get to be in service. So very, very grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so that's been a full hour. I come back and I do this every single week, as you know, and every single week we usually have someone show up from our professional community who are bright stars like Lisa Barnett. I did see Dee Terrell, oh gosh, but can't go without telling you. So there is an energy about Dee Terrell as well. Let's go here, Dee Terrell. I actually watched your session in the last week, Dee Terrell. Dee Terrell has an energy about her. There's no doubt about it. And her session is absolutely fantastic. And I love the way that she teaches fitness. I absolutely love the way that she teaches fitness. Dee Terrell, how do people find you? And if you want to, you can come on out and tell us a little bit about what you love about the session. Do you want to?
Just really quick, because I don't want to take, first of all, I'm like Lisa, I was so happy that it's because I'm on daylight savings time, so I was able to make it because normally I'm not. And I really wanted this to be a session about happiness. And people think that you can't get happiness and results at the same time, you have to grind and it has to be hard and you don't like it and you hate it, but you push through anyway. And I'm like here to bust that up, that you can have happiness and results and have energy and have fun while you're doing it, and include all the parts of yourself, include how if if you're a Christian or a Buddhist or whatever your faith is, whatever hobbies or the things that you like to do, all kinds of people, your goals, your business, all the things that make up you and make up your life, include all of those things and make sure that you have happy results as you're getting those things. And it's not about, even though it's called happy results, it's more about the journey as you're on your way to getting those happy results. So that's why I created that. And thank you for allowing me to speak, Kim.
Oh, you know what? For those of you who really get to dive into our community, you'll get to know people like Dee Terrell and Lisa, and you will actually come to the same place as I. I am so honored. It is such a privilege, a true blessing that we all get to be with each other, because we're pretty gorgeous human beings. And so are you if you're here, because you wouldn't have been at the vibrational alignment in order to be attracted to this community, right? Dee Terrell and Lisa, they fill your cup up, right? And you've got to hang around people that you want to become like. And oftentimes I look at our professional leaders inside the Positive Prime community, and like, when I grow up, I want to be more like Dee Terrell, and when I grow up, I want to be more like Lisa. And that's who I hope our session authors are for you too. Hey, when I grow up, I want to be more like, and you want to be more like them. They've got gorgeous souls and they're living their truth, right? They've busted through their own fears. They're out there in service of humanity. They're contributing way beyond themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't have created a Positive Prime session and it wouldn't be available on the platform, right? Woohoo to that. Okay, so we love you all very, very, very much, and we will speak to you soon. Thank you, and please do share this video with others. Mwah.